Hello, Isaiah here, and welcome to this special Lightboard training video. I want to talk about misconceptions when it comes to industry resumes, okay? Misconceptions, or maybe I'll just call it resume misconceptions. All right, so if you have a PhD, you need to understand how resumes work, and a lot of PhDs do not. We think in terms of academic CVs, which are oriented for tenure. That's why a lot of the bullet points that we see coming in from PhDs before they get trained with us, they have 10 years of experience in XYZ without talking about any results, all right? So academia worships tenure in chronological order, but in industry, they worship function. They also use what is called applicant tracking system software, ATSs. There's like 500 plus of these ATS software systems, and they're very smart today. They're built on artificial intelligence, but they're also very dumb. So let's start simple. Let's say this is your resume, okay? This is the first page of your resume. This is the second page of your resume. Now, what matters the most in terms of location on this resume? Well, this right here, the top one-third of the first page is called the visual center. Why? Because 80% of the keyword strength, 80% of the keyword strength in these ATS systems are here. So the keywords, what can you fit here? Your contact info, right? Contact info and a professional summary. Now your professional summary should only be 3 bullet points. Otherwise, it's going to be too much text and too long for this section, right? So, and the ATS software, again, it's smart. I'll talk more about how smart it is in a minute, relatively speaking, but it's also dumb. It's just going to look for the word summary. That's it. And then whatever is underneath the word summary, it's going to give this heavy weighting if it's in the top one-third. Okay? So why are you worried about like your conferences? That doesn't make any sense. Why are you worried about like your publications and writing them out in a works cited section? That doesn't make any sense either. Okay? You can't focus on this stuff. It's not going to matter. When it gets into the hands of a hiring manager, even then it's not going to matter. Why? So why is the ATS software set up this way? Quantitatively, right? Because the quantitative is reflecting the qualitative. Employers, eye tracking studies by employers show that they spend 80% of their time in the top one-third, right? So it's just reflecting what an employer is going to do. Now, after that, the next thing that the ATS software looks for is experience. It's going to look for the experience section. And then the very first line, okay, the very first line, right? The very first line after the experience section, I want you to be able to see that. After the experience section, which is usually located right here, right? Somewhere around this area. That first line for most academics is an academic job title, like professor, right? Lecturer, postdoc, TA, graduate student. And that immediately gets you weeded out. Instead, you want to put the skills that you have, and this is what a functional resume format's about. If you have some industry experience, you could structure it this way as well with, there's different types of the combination resume format. You could use a reverse chronological order resume format if you do have industry experience, but if you don't, and you're just putting your academic job titles, it's going to get you weeded out. So instead, you want to make that first line underneath the experience section a key skill that you have that they're looking for that's likely in their database. Underneath that, right, you can always put, right, gained as a postdoc, TA, professor, etc. Okay, so this is very important for you to understand in terms of resumes and how they're working. Now, a lot of people will tell you to really obsess, right? To really obsess with the resume and uploading it and just to keep uploading the same thing over. If you're uploading your resume and you're getting phone screens, as an example, but you're not moving to the later stages of the interview, it may have nothing to do with your interview. It may have to do with all of the information that is cataloged in this ATS system. So if you look at the ATSs, right, and the A got cut off there. If you look at all the ATS systems, let's try that, all right? They keep a visibility score of you, and they share this data, right? Visibility score, they share data. They share data with other ATS systems. So if you're bombing in your job search and you're getting rejected, your visibility score among this ecosystem of ATSs is going to go down. It's just like LinkedIn. If people come to your profile, they leave faster and faster. Your bounce rate goes up, your visibility goes down because nobody wants to see what's on your profile because it's too academic. So there are consequences to just doing a trial and error job search with your resume. because of this ATS system, okay? So it keeps a visibility score. It shares data. You need to understand this. Trial and error works great in academic research, punished in a job search, right? And so when you're thinking of going through the ATS systems, if something's not working, if it's not working, right, stop. Because the resume that you're using to get the initial phone screen may not be good enough to get you to the later stages, right? So I talk to a lot of PhDs, and this is why I wanted to bring this up as the last thing I'm going to talk about, who are getting the phone screen, but they're not moving forward. They're like, well, I don't need to learn about resumes. I don't need to learn about LinkedIn profiles, right? They think that they have everything covered, but then they're not moving forward to the later stages of the interview. And I said, look, the employers are coming back to the ATS system. They're coming back there, right? They're not just going to go there once. They're going to go there twice. They're going to go there 3 times, 4 times. We see people that are having 4 to 5 rounds of interviews. And guess what? For every round of the interview, they're going back to the ATS every single time. And then a higher and higher level executive on the hiring committee, right? There's going to be more checks, more checkpoints with higher level people on the hiring committee at every stage of the interview. So again, a resume that's good enough to get you an initial phone screen is not the same as a resume that's good enough to get you a job offer. So I hope this helps. It takes us to the end of this Lightboard training. Remember your value as a PhD and start thinking and acting like a successful industry professional.